There's a silent force shaping your decisions right now. It's not your IQ. It's not your talent. It's not even your willpower. It's the room you are sitting in, the people you talk to, the noise around you. Your environment is writing your future, and most people never realize it until it's too late. Stay with me, because what I'm about to show you will change how you see everything. Here's the truth nobody talks about. Your brain doesn't just observe your environment. It mirrors it. Psychologists call this environmental conditioning. You become a reflection of the spaces you occupy and the energy you absorb daily. Let me give you an example. Imagine two brothers, same parents, same upbringing. At 18, they go separate ways. One moves to a small town where everyone settles for comfort. Conversations revolve around complaining, safety, and fear of risk. The other moves to a city surrounded by builders, creators, and ambitious thinkers. 10 years later, their lives look completely different. Not because one was smarter, but because one environment whispered stay small while the other screamed grow bigger. The first brother adopted the language of limitation. The second adopted the language of possibility. Same DNA, different surroundings, different futures. Your environment isn't neutral. It's either pushing you forward or pulling you backward. And here's the scary part. You don't even notice it happening. It's like gaining weight. One bad meal doesn't ruin you, but 1,000 bad meals become your body. One limiting conversation doesn't destroy you, but 1,000 limiting conversations become your mindset. The invisible standard. Your environment sets an invisible standard for what's normal. And your brain loves normal. It craves it because normal feels safe. Here's the story. There was a woman named Claire. She worked in a corporate office where everyone clocked in at 9 and clocked out at 5. Lunch breaks were spent scrolling phones. Ambition was called arrogance. Dreams were called unrealistic. For 3 years, Claire felt stuck. She had ideas. Big ones. But every time she mentioned them, her co-workers laughed. So she stopped sharing. She stopped trying. She convinced herself she was being realistic. Then one day, her company relocated her to a different office. Same job. Different people. But this office was different. People stayed late voluntarily. They talked about side projects. They shared books. They celebrated wins. Within 6 months, Claire launched her own side business. Within a year, she left her job and went full-time. She didn't change. Her environment did. And when her environment changed, her sense of what was possible exploded. This is called the normalization effect. Whatever surrounds you becomes your baseline. If everyone around you is broken bitter, being broken bitter feels normal. If everyone around you is growing and building, stagnation feels uncomfortable. Your environment doesn't just influence you. It defines what you believe is achievable. The proximity principle. Now let's talk about something powerful. The proximity principle. This is the idea that success isn't just about what you know. It's about who you are near. Look at Elon Musk. Before he became a household name, he wasn't sitting alone in a basement. He was in Silicon Valley, surrounded by other founders, engineers, and investors. He was in rooms where billion-dollar ideas were normal, where failure was a lesson, not a death sentence. That proximity shaped his thinking. It gave him permission to think differently. Or take Oprah Winfrey. Early in her career, she worked alongside people who believed media could change lives. She wasn't around cynics. She was around creators. That environment didn't just support her. It expanded her vision of what was possible. She absorbed the belief that influence was achievable. This isn't luck. It's environmental mathematics. When you are surrounded by people operating at a higher level, your brain starts recalibrating. You begin to see their habits as normal, their discipline as standard, their ambition as reasonable. You stop thinking that's impossible for someone like me and start thinking if they can do it, what's stopping me? But here's the flip side. If you are surrounded by people who have given up, your brain recalibrates downward. Excuses become acceptable. Mediocrity becomes comfortable. And before you know it, you are defending the very limitations that are destroying you. Proximity isn't just motivational, it's transformational. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your surroundings. The hidden truth. So here's the truth that changes everything. You think you are in control of your life. But your environment is voting every single day, and it's voting louder than your willpower. Every conversation you have is a vote. Every room you sit in is a vote. Every piece of content you consume is a vote. And the majority wins. If your environment votes for distraction, you will become distracted. If it votes for discipline, you will become disciplined. The most successful people don't just build better habits. They build better environments. They remove what drains them. They add what fuels them. They understand that willpower is limited, but environment is constant. You can fight your surroundings for a while, but eventually your surroundings win. This is why changing your life starts with changing your space. Not tomorrow, today. Because every day you wait, your current environment is shaping you into someone you might not want to become. Your future isn't written in the stars. It's written in your surroundings, the room you wake up in, the people you talk to, in the standards you accept. All of it is quietly designing who you will become. If you want a different future, start with a different environment. Remove the voices that make you small. Seek the spaces that make you stretch. Surround yourself with people who remind you what's possible, not what's impossible. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being intentional. Because your environment is always teaching you something. The question is, what lesson are you learning? You have more control than you think. But only if you choose to use it. Your environment predicts your future. So choose it wisely.